My boss terminated me and revoked my severance for refusing to work on vacation. I said, thanks. The CEO dropped his cup when legal read my exit clause. I was 3 days into my first real vacation in 8 years when my phone buzzed. The message was from HR. Quick favor, can you jump online for a couple hours? I stared at the screen. Then I looked at the beach in front of me. After years of covering for laid-off coworkers and pulling all-nighters during endless mergers, they wanted me to work during my approved time off. I typed back, I'm on approved PTO. We can talk when I return. Simple. Professional. Boundaries. An hour later, another email arrived. Your employment is terminated immediately. Severance revoked for non-cooperation. I laughed out loud. They fired me for refusing to work on vacation. I forwarded everything to my lawyer, Patricia Brennan, and went back to my drink because here's what they forgot. 3 years earlier, during another chaotic merger at Horizon Corp, I watched them destroy people. My friend Daniel got fired the week before his daughter's surgery. Another colleague was accused of abandoning her job after leaving early to visit her dying mother. Horizon specialized in cruelty wrapped in corporate language. So I hired Patricia, an attorney who once made an executive cry just by reading a contract out loud. She charged me $850 an hour to add one clause to my employment agreement during the chaos. Clause 92D. If they terminated me during approved PTO, I would receive full severance plus a penalty equal to 6 months of salary, and the termination had to be reported to shareholders as a hostile breach in the next quarterly filing. Legal signed it without reading. They were too busy trying to look organized before a board meeting. Nobody noticed the footnote, but I remembered. Patricia filed the breach notice immediately. Within hours, their legal team was scrambling. Panicked emails multiplied. Someone even posted in a Slack channel asking if they could bury the clause and tag the CFO by mistake. Then the Zoom call happened. The CEO, Brian, joined looking like he had sprinted up a flight of stairs. Patricia shared her screen and walked through everything. My PTO approval, the termination email, and the clause they forgot existed. She read it aloud. Termination during active approved PTO triggers full severance plus a penalty equal to 6 months of base compensation classified as a hostile executive breach requiring shareholder disclosure. Brian stammered. We weren't aware this clause existed. Patricia smiled. You ratified his contract 2 years ago. She pulled up a document with his own signature. The terms are binding. You are currently in breach. Dead silence. 2 days later, the company filed their quarterly report. Page 19 contained a single devastating paragraph about contingent liabilities related to certain legacy agreements that could result in material financial exposure. They never used my name, but they quoted my clause word for word. Investors started calling. The board held an emergency meeting. When legal reads aloud for the record, Brian's hand shook so badly that he dropped his coffee cup. It spilled across the earnings reports while everyone watched, and it got worse for them. An internal audit revealed that 5 other executives had the same clause. Total financial exposure over $5 million. The HR director who approved all of it was placed on administrative leave that afternoon. HR eventually reached out with a goodwill offer to restore my severance. Patricia's reply was sharp. Payment is not optional. Referred to the late fee structure. While they panicked, I had already moved on. I used my settlement money to buy into Compete Edge, a rival firm that was quietly stealing Horizon's contracts. My first client, a company that had terminated their Horizon deal 6 months early. They tried to erase me with one email, but they forgot one thing. I was the one who wrote the clause that would blow up their quarterly earnings call and cost them millions. The CEO dropped his cup.